Hello, it's time for the 3 o'clock coffee stream. Coffee. Today we are looking at making some kind of level editor. So let's look at this stuff, what I have here. Look, I made this this here atlas. Oh, I'm gonna bring out the chat on the screen here. Like that. That's good. So I'm I made this tile set. I mean, this is not a tile set is sort of like an atlas, but so I made this tile set, and the tile set is based on this very early concept. Look, here is the cat. The cat lives in a tree house, of course. Where would a cat otherwise live? And yeah, there's some stuff going on. This is like, you know, first pass of art. For those who have been here before can know how special my first art is. So some of you have seen the proto cat, as I call it. But anyways, so I made this little mock-up, we can call it, and then I extracted a tileset from it. And then I have my atlas here, and this atlas is generated, and this one contains the whole font. I use the bitmap font currently, and it also contains, it reads, it looks into this folder here, and it takes all these A-sprite files in here, and it extracts the images from them. So you see the tree here is actually from, this one is actually from this file and gets generated into this atlas, right? And the tile set, since I know it's a 16 by 16 tile set, what I do is, so I can use a single atlas, like I don't have to switch, because yeah, a tile set is sort of like an atlas in a sense, you know, it's things that are split into separate tiles like this, and you can have one texture bound while drawing all the tiles. But this is a tile set that can be used for the whole game. So here's the animation of the player, and here are the tiles, blah blah blah. And so I extended my little Ace to Atlas, which is starting to, I need to rename it someday. I have extended this thingy so that it, by the way, is this in, doesn't matter. Hello Shuvik, hello Transmutrix. So I have extended this thing so that it, where is it? Somewhere there's some code. Yeah, here I did a funny thing where if the name of the thing starts with tileset, which the tileset file does, then it's sort of like, oh, it's a tileset. Then it runs this code, and then it just sort of calculates how the width and the height of the tile set, and then it puts those tiles into a list, and it marks them as tiles, so it can give them some special treatment. Hello Mine, Bill and Philippe. So they end up even though they come, it just reads them one by one from this big image and just throws them into this atlas. And then I can bind just only this texture while drawing later. But currently I only use the text and the separate. I don't use the atlas yet in the game. But what it also does, this generator, is that in here it says where in the atlas are all the tiles. So, and it knows the coordinate plus the rectangle. This is the important part for the editor. It needs to know which original coordinate is it from in here, and this is the rectangle. Where in the main atlas did it eventually end up? If you have these two things, then you can easily make an editor that reasons about this but draws this, and what you save is this, and then you can draw this. You can also use an index here instead of a coordinate if you want, but then you're fixed. Like if you ever change the width of it, then you're not so happy anymore. But that wasn't a problem in Cat and Onion, but yeah. Yes, hi Philip. Yes, it is Odin Lang. It is nice. 3 o'clock coffee. Well, it's 2:45, but you know, it's what it is. So, with that in mind, let's start doing some stuff. So, I have most things I need, I think, already. Since I have this thing here, this code is generated before the game compiles. So this is compiled this is code that just the game can use. This is just an array of Atlas tiles the game can use. So I should quite quickly be able to just take these coordinates and then draw the atlas with these rects, and then I can draw in an editor sort of all the tiles, and then I can select them and place them, and then we can save them or something. You know, we'll see how far we get. Let's spend maybe 2 hours on this and see what we can do. So this is my main game file right now here, and I am either in the editing state or in the not editing state. And if you run the game right now, I mean, there's almost nothing to it. It just looks like this. This is still, I've mostly been doing like tech things and poking around, so the game is still nothing. While making my previous game I had a lot of you know, those things that I can't fix in the previous games, like, oh, I want to have everything in Atlas and I want to load ASprite files directly and stuff like that. I've been working on addressing those workflow issues that would be too much refactoring to in previous games. So I'll make sure to do them now. So I'm happy in this one with that, hopefully. So let's close. Yeah, well, I can leave it open probably. Well, we'll see if it crashes when we hot reload too much or something. So we're currently in this state here. So we need to switch into the editing state, and we can just do like this. If rl.iskey pressed .f2, then we say gmem.editing equals not. We just flip the flag. Oh wait, F2 is used for something else. Is it? But I always used F2 for my editor. Or is it F? No? Yeah, I used F2 for my editor. Debug door should be an F3. I mean, this is just, you know, you do something in one game, you do it in the previous game, and then in this one you're like, oh, what's a good key for going into the editor? Oh, well, it's of course F2. And then this doesn't work for some reason. Why doesn't this work? Is it something with the... Oh, I know why. Because, yeah, this is editor draw doesn't currently run. So this is a thing that many use Raylib might run into. Draw does the begin drawing and end drawing stuff, but my Raylib, but my editor doesn't. My editor code, which is empty, doesn't do that yet. So maybe let's just do like this. Maybe no, that's a bad idea. Let's do like this. So this is editor.odin, totally empty. There's 2 procs. There's one for drawing, one for updating. Actually, I kind of, with editors, I kind of like drawing directly from inside the... we'll see how this goes. Hello, Austin. Welcome back. Import RL core... No, not core. Vendor Raylib. So now I should be able to... I thought, yeah, now it's... Oh yeah, I know. So now it looks like it's still running the game when I press F2, but it's actually just that it doesn't clear the back buffer yet. So that's why it looks like that. We can just steal this. You know what? We're gonna do like this. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna split out the render and the draw and the update and the stuff. Go down here, paste that here. So we're gonna do like one update here, and then we'll do another one down here, and here we just say draw instead. So then I can just do like this. That's all good. And then the clear is a bit ambiguous. Yeah, the clear color is currently the ground color of the world. So we can remove that. Let's just clear in there in the editor. And then so now we split that up. We check if we're editing. So this is the update stuff, this is the draw stuff. Yeah, now we press F2 and everything is gone, which is sort of what I expected. So let's just toy around with the editor now. We're not gonna we worry about saving stuff later. Let's just make it so that we get our tiles in there and we can draw them out and stuff. And when we're doing this, we're gonna have to maybe get a lot of old code from Cat and Onion that I want for maybe splitting rects and stuff. We'll see. But yeah, one thing my editor in Cat and Onion did was that it did its drawing very, how to say, the editor wasn't as split into draw and update as much, because I didn't really need it that much. What does actually draw do in this case? Yeah, it does all this crap. I'm just thinking how to best do this. But let's try to be good citizens and draw stuff in the draw proc. I'm a bit apprehensive doing it in editors because they tend to use so much EM-GUI, and in my experience it's then easier to just have everything in one place. Otherwise you have to have, like in the update here, you have to have like lots of code for but let's try it. Let's try it. So what we need here is we need to have a rectangle for the whole screen. How do we get that? Now again, let's pop out the Cat and Onion code also, because we're gonna need it a lot. So we go to editor, update maybe. Yeah, this is the Cat and Onion editor thingy. So here we have the window is the rect from post size, screen size. Okay, what's screen size? Screen width, screen height. Yeah, this one does lots of things I don't need. It's essentially this. So we want a rectangle, that's our whole screen. Yeah, we can check if this is correct by just rl.draw rectangle v screen rect rl.red. rl.red. This is not gonna fly because it is draw rectangle rec is the correct proc. See if this gets red now. What's this guy's problem? Oh, Oh, well. Oh, there was two. Sorry. So you see it turns red now because, and if I push this 10 pixels to the right, then we get a green border here. Yeah, Philip, it is hot reloading, which is the best thing ever for making editors. That's maybe my favorite part of hot reload is when you make editors, to be able to like just work on it, like tweak where buttons are and stuff, because it's so much when you do EM GUI editors, it's so much easier. Let's go to, I have a file with all my rectangle stuff in, and here I have like kind of a rect cut situation going, but currently I don't have the rect cut stuff in here. I just have my split that doesn't do the cutting. They sort of just they don't modify the source rect. So rect cut, usually what it does is you have a rectangle and you say cut off this much on one side, and then it has a pointer to the thing. But I have those here in cat and onion. Cut rect top, bottom. Well, maybe I don't have all of them. Cut. Let's see. Cut rect. Well, I have all of them. They're just everywhere. So this is how I use code. I just copy it from the old project into the new one. I don't have a library because, well, maybe one day I would make a library, but to me it's easier to just copy over the stuff you need. So there we have our rect cut stuff in. I just have a shorter. I've write rectangle so much, so I have. Oh no, that one we can't change. That's the. I tend to write like that. So now we can cut rectangles. So we go back to here and we say, let's continue draw rectangle rec here, so you can see what we're doing. Screen rec rl.black. It's good. And then we say cut rect right, screen rect, and we say how many pixels from the right do we want to cut off. How big is we have 16 times 6, I think, 96 pixels, but is this scaled up? Well, yeah, we have to choose a scale for the editor, sort of like how much scaled up are the pixels in the editor and stuff, but you know, that's fine. And then we get our sidebar here like that, and then we can draw that instead, and it's gonna go choop here now, and just black on the side here. As we see, this is 96 pixels in real screen pixels, because this thing doesn't know anything about how or zoom or anything. We just have to decide on a scale we want for these things on the side, and I would say maybe well, actually what we can do is we can use a we don't have to scale it manually. What we can do is you can use a UI camera, which I already do in the game. We can call it the editor camera, so we can arbitrarily scale things in the editor. Editor camera it can be the same stuff. The pixel window height, which is a global I can use, and then we can say rl.begin mode to mode 2D, blah blah blah, and then rl.end mode 2D, like that. Oh yeah, we need to. What is it we need to do here? Oh yeah, this is a proc. Need to call it. That's the problem. Right. And what happens now is that this is not valid anymore because I need the camera rectangle. Is it possible to get camera? How do I think? Let's go back to my other game. Camera rect. There you go. Hello, fix. Let's make a new file. Camera.odin. Package gain. Camera rect. We need some raylib stuff in here. Import rl vendor raylib. Profile scope. No, thank you. Size is, so this is the screen size. This is I am doing fine, thank you, Fix. I got some get screen width is called. I got some inspiration yesterday to do stuff. So now I'm doing stuff. Because I did some concepting and I thought that it was fun. I mean, I did a lot of things. I have like I made a little concept art piece where the cat sits in a cat tree where it lives, and this is just, you know, very early sort of mock-up, but I just cut stuff out into a tile set, and then I have taken this tile set and I have actually put all the tiles into my atlas and kept the metadata for where the tiles are, so I can use a single atlas for font, tile set, animations, and also even the Raylib shapes drawing texture uses this one. So now I'm trying to just hammer together a prototype of an editor that can use this stuff, which I think is fun. Okay, this is a proc I really want from my other game also. Rect from Post Size. This is a good one. It's gonna be a lot of this copying now because I'm adding lots of things I didn't have before, sort of. So this is a thing that returns a rectangle that is calculated from a position and a size if you want two separate vectors like that. So now we can get a camera rect inside the editor. We go back and we say here, instead of screen rect, maybe we say camera rect and hope for the best. Oh yeah, it wants a camera, of course. We say cam is editor camera, put that there, and then we also need to feed the camera into begin mode 2D. Oh yeah, there you see. So now we're looking into that. Before I had the camera, the editor was well, you might have seen it. This black bar was very small on the side here because I want my screen size to be roughly 320 times 180. You can currently resize it, and I think this game will support different resolutions because it's a bit easier than in my other game, because it's less set pieces, more like tiled sort of top-down view. I think that's probably easier to do as a variable screen size, but I keep 180 pixels on the height at all times, and then you can vary this. And I don't do pixel perfect stuff. I just say that I just zoom it so that my nearest neighbor scale pixel art looks good at this, but it's not. I don't. You know, some people would render into a exactly 320 by 180 render texture and then scale it up. But then I kind of like doing these cookie rotations and zooms and, you know, going a bit outside what's possible if you use old school purist pixel art, which I think is worth it. High Thunder, yeah, I was able to get it down to a single draw call. This when I play the game right now, it's uses the font and all the textures and the Raylib shapes drawing texture. It's all in one texture, so it just does one draw call, even if you do like debug drawing with shapes and stuff, which is nice. It's pretty interesting. So we have our sidebar here. Let's try to render out some of these tiles now then. How do I do that? I might have to, let's see if I can actually loop through these and use the coordinate here plus this to draw them. I think it's gonna be easy. For AT in Atlas tiles, C is at.coord. So this is a global variable that it lives in atlas.odin. This is generated by my Atlas generator. It's the metadata of where to find things in the Atlas. So it's before my program compiles, it makes a PNG with the Atlas, and then it keeps track. It does some bookkeeping of where did I actually put stuff and generates this stuff. So you can just use that directly. And I try to use, like, for the textures, I try to write down a texture name as well, so I can just, you know, access them directly using an enum instead of having to go and search for them somehow. It's nice to be able to use compile time values to talk about resources in the game. So we have the coordinate and the rect, like you saw there. I think this should, yeah, it's declared but not used. And then we can say rl.draw draw texture projection, I think. You also try to do the Atlas packing stuff under. That's nice. I got stuck on UI. That can be some work to do that. Hey, it's Astreus. The train game was just a 1 week prototype. I didn't know what to do with it. So really, so I'm trying something else. I'm just trying to do like 1 week prototypes, essentially. I was spent like the whole last Friday, like a week ago on the Friday. I just sat there and just stared at the screen and couldn't get anywhere. So I try something else. I think it would be good if the editor doesn't use the global memory. Well, it can't because it's private in the file here. So let's do this. Editor memory is a struct that has the atlas. That is rl.texture or something. And then we go back here and we just put the editor memory called em here. And then we just put a global pointer in here. Oi. What are we doing? Yeah, so what the reason I need to do that is because I use a global here, but you know that one will die every time hot reload. So then you have to do stuff like this: editor init gmem dot editor memory, little ampersand there to point it out. I think it was subsettable something. Oh yeah, it's called em abbreviations. So now we have something, and we have the atlas in there as well. Well, not really. How do I best? Actually, maybe you do this. I wonder if this should even be a pointer, or yeah, it should. Let's do like this. This is stuff that I put in extra arguments here for stuff that might change with hot reload anyway, and stuff like that. Then we go back here, and now we can say em, because we have it now. Now we can say em.atlas, and we can say the source rect is where in the atlas do we want to take stuff from. That's R, that's the rectangle. Where do we want to draw it? We will get, well, we want to draw it in the sidebar. And then it's gonna be 16 times 16 big. And then we say we want to draw it at depth. And we say the origin, we don't care, and the rotation, I don't care, and the tint is white. And maybe, if we're lucky, we got something soon. What is this? This is the coordinate. We don't need this. Well, yes. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna take the sidebar.x plus the coordinate.c times 16, and then we're gonna plus here coordinate of y times 16, and this is because this is where in the atlas should it be, and where I want the atlas to appear on the side here as if it was, I want it to look like this, but it has been splattered out and packed efficiently into the atlas like this, right? But I still want it to appear like this, but luckily I've saved exactly where it was in this one, so I can reconstruct it for editor purposes, but that's the only time I want it to look this way, right? What are you complaining about? F32 versus int. I guess the sidebar.x, this is, okay, this is not F32. Okay, and there you go. That one well. And it's got quite interesting because it's gone via the atlas into yeah, it's gone via the atlas, via the from the tileset into the atlas and then back here. Okay, that's good. Let's try to paint with these a bit somehow. We don't care right now. I might just make a grid to paint in on the screen. There's no world right now to paint in. We're just gonna try to paint with these and see what happens. And this is the point, you know, now I get to exactly what I talked about before, that I'm a bit like, oh, but now I want to just hover this one, but I'm in the draw proc. And it's super fine in sort of in well, let's try keeping it split. Let's try it as an exercise. Maybe I go mad in a bit and be like, I can't do this. But if you want to split this properly, so this one only does drawing and this one only does updating, what you need to do is essentially be like well, you still need to consider camera stuff in the update because it needs to be at the correct position relative to the mouse and stuff. Because in Cat and Onion I did all the drawing directly. Well, I didn't do it directly in there. It still deferred the drawing to later by saying, oh, can you please draw this thing for me? Because if yeah, no, I'm just gonna do, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do like, I know how to do this properly now. I put all this here, but I don't do the drawing in here. Instead I say, here I say draw rectangle. I have procedures for this already. Sidebar rl.black, and here I say draw texture. This one I might be missing exactly which to draw. Let's see here. This one is like let's add a draw texture pro here. So this is essentially like we defer it to later, essentially. Source, so we have texture and we have a direct like that, and then we skip all that stuff. And then I say draw texture pro, and we say texture. So this is just for deferring the draw texture pro called in Raylib to later, essentially. Draw texture pro source direct. We'll see if this is a good idea, because now this one can be like em.atlas r and dest, like that, nice and clean. Drawable texture pro it's called, like that. And then here, this is all crap. Every stream I do, I say I need to replace this specific piece of code, but it hasn't given me trouble yet, so I haven't fixed it. And then we need to handle the actual draw command, which is here, which is just do this. It takes the atlas, and it, oh yeah, I didn't even need atlas. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. Let's see. Draw texture pro from what's it called? d.from d.dest. No, it's called source and dest. Got a bit sidetracked here by this, and I don't actually need a texture here, is what I'm trying to say. Because I always draw from the atlas. Well, we can just call it like that. Don't even need the texture here. Can go back to like that. This looks funny now. It has like a funny border around it. All right. And we don't need this begin end mode 2D, because that's just to put the drawing in the correct place. Oh yeah, this we can remove. The camera, so we will like split it up kind of half. So currently it doesn't do anything here, so we need to go back to game and go to draw, and this thing here knows how to draw all the drawables. So maybe I'll just split this code out like this. Draw a world or something, who knows. Oops, I accidentally pressed Ctrl X, so my cut disappeared. Draw world is a proc. All drawables, where do you come from? Here. Okay, I need some more stuff in there. I need this stuff too, and then I need like that. Here you go, that's it. So that sort of draws. It draws all the queued drawables, which is what the stuff I just toyed around with does. So we can do this, and this one doesn't know about the camera really. There you go, now it's back. I think there's some sed fighting because of there's no explicit sorting yet. There's no sort key, which is something I have been thinking about, which I'm gonna have to handle soon. Let's just not handle it. Let's remove the sidebar for now, because I just wanna no, I meant just let's not draw the sidebar black, is what I meant. Well, what we can do is we can cheat a bit here. rl.draw. We can cheat a bit. We can say like this. I'm gonna fix it later, but I don't want to fix it now because it's boring. Rectangle rec. Camera rec. We just draw. We just fill it with black before everything else. Well, the sidebar, I mean. I'll fix that later. It's not so important. There you go. Now it's back, and it didn't hide. The problem before was it hid those two on the side there. Yeah, cheating at video. No, but it's just. I'll save the boring stuff for later. Right now, I want to make this clickable and stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm probably gonna have ordering issues anyways, I realize, because I want to draw lines around what is. Okay, let's fix it properly. Let's remove this. Let's go in here. And then we'll go to drawable, and this is a struct. Well, the whole drawable itself, this thing here. Maybe we just add a sort key on this, maybe. Drawable variant. And then we say drawable is now struct that has a variant, drawable variant, and it has a sort. Sort. Yeah, it was a very quick. Technical depth. I realized it. The immediate thing I was trying to do, which was I want to have selection outlines on these. I was like, oh, there will also be said fighting or something. So, yeah, that's a thing. So now we need to shuffle this around a bit. So we need to. Here we can say drawable variant instead. And we can say sort int equals 0, and we can say like this variant equals d, sort equals sort, like that. I think that should work. You can't have tech depth if your prototypes don't live longer than a week. Yep, that's why this is the last evening. I'm deleting the source code after this. No, not like that. Right, so now we can add in maybe some explicit sort key stuff here. So we can do it first on the two we use. Well, let's just put it everywhere. Sort is an int that equals 0, and we put it here. Sort. Let's remove this thing, so we get some compilers to help us. Oh no, I didn't mean to remove it completely. I meant to remove the default value. Sort, and then up here we go and be like sort, and then we go sort, and then here as well. Sort. I'm so gonna regret having that as an int, don't I? Because yeah, let's maybe change, because I might use it for sorting on the screen as well, to explicitly say that things that are drawn, some things will use their Y position as the sort, and for some things, like the player, maybe it moves a bit on a subpixel position. I'm not sure yet. But let's just do all this. Sort F32. There we go. And now we're in here. And it's trying to sort here. And maybe now we can just, instead of this, we can just say if return I dot sort is less than j dot sort or something. We removed all that now. Oof. In drawable dot variant, we need to do it instead here. Okay, now it compiled. Wait, now everything is broken. That's good. No, but I was thinking, what happens now? Well, let's get the game working again, so we know. Update. So this is the editor, and this is outside the editor. Why doesn't? Oh, this one isn't. This isn't running draw queue drawables anymore. So there we go. That works. The sorting here might be messed up. Well, I can't tell because my cat is the same color as the. Yeah, it's the messed up, but that's easy to fix, I think. What we just need to do is in here. In draw, we do some draw texture and we say o.post.y. So we find some places where we do this. End.post.y. So we just need to send in the y coordinate as sort key here. Like that maybe. Draw text. Oh, for that one the text I just put at layer 20 or something. A bit annoying that the. Okay, let me do some stuff here. The sort will happen much more often than the origin, to the point where I maybe want to wait. Sort is an F32. Yeah, this one as well. Yeah, now it's fixed. So now you can write it like this. And now maybe, no, okay, that still doesn't work. Maybe the sorting is in the wrong direction somehow. Does the player sort yet? Where is the player drawn? Here it is. Animation draw. Post a Y. And there you see the cat pop in front of this thing, which means it's now draw rectangle. No. I'm just toying around with. You see, now I can even go behind this rectangle here. I can step in front of it or step behind it. It is sorted by Y position on the screen. The text is drawn in layer 20 or something probably. This bubble is always in front of everything because it's more of a. Yeah, this text is also in front of everything. Okay, so that's what I wanted for the game. And now let's fix this Z fighting mess here. That's easy now. Now we just say we draw this on layer 0 and then we draw these on layer 1. There you go. They popped into the correct position. And now we can get the mouse position. Do I have mouse in rect? Yes. What does this one do? Mouse in world rect, mouse in rect. This one doesn't look at the camera properly, which is. These days I use a camera. I didn't do that much in Cat and Onion because in my editor. But now I use a camera for the editor itself, which I think is nice. So let's try to fix that by, let's see. Well, let's just try to use the camera. No, words. Let's do something. Programming. We want to check. We loop over all the atlas tiles and want to check, is the mouse inside any of these? And then we want to do some stuff. So we just say like this. If mouse in world rect. This is a bit inefficient. Get screen to world 2D. I think this calculates a matrix and everything. Oh well. No, actually maybe it's the... Yeah, it's not very fast to do this. I should probably just cache the mouse position in world space when I create the camera or something. I don't know, because actually it's quite slow to do that transformation. I remember optimizing some stuff in Cat and Onion where I suddenly got much longer frames because I was at like 20 different places just doing something like this, and it was taking a substantial part of the time. Draw a rectangle. Okay, we're gonna need an extra thing here soon, but that's fine. Let's rl.red, and we want it to be maybe at layer 2. Now it's gonna completely cover it when we... Why is it still there when I left it? Ah, I think update, game update, drawables reset. Go to game. So this is my update proc that runs only when you run the game, and this is where it resets the num drawables to 0. Yeah, I might try Ray GUI this time around. I mean, for just this thing, I'd rather just do it. But the moment I need a widget, I can try it. Because in Cat and Onion, I made my own EM GUI with all the controllers, and because Ray GUI didn't have any bindings when I started making it. So, you know. Well, yes, fix it. It does require more C strings, but at the same time, my old EM GUI I drew using Raylib. So anytime I needed to draw a string, I needed to do that. But maybe it's like for drop downs, maybe you need even more C string. Well, I think it might be similar. Now it's gonna just pop back. Yeah, so you see now it's hovering the one I have the mouse at. Good. I need another draw rect here. Draw rect lines. Drawable rect lines. It's identical, but it draw rect there. But it will draw lines. An outline. Currently I will draw 1 pixel. I don't care. Oi. No, draw rect. This one with a line thickness of 1. No errors, good. Go back to editor, say draw rect lines. Hover around, you see a little line there. That's good. Let's make one of these selectable. Selected tile is and coordinate. I think I'm gonna go with this time. If rl.isMouse button pressed left, and you're inside it. Raylib uses malloc and free internally, but we're just answering the chat here. But usually when you just want to feed Raylib a string, then you just need to temp allocate it on the. You just use a temp allocator in Odin and be happy. That's sort of. I've been thinking about trying to code away the requirement for C strings in Raylib, maybe make a little wrapper, but then then suddenly Raylib in turn calls some other library or does something else, calls some libc stuff or something that needs a C string, and at that point you need to allocate again, and at that point you're in C already, or maybe in your wrapper at least, and you need to temp allocate there instead. So it might just become worse, the problem. So I kind of settled on, like, if you need to send a string to a clib, do a temp allocation. The only time you don't have to is when you just feed a string literal inside it, because it will know that it, like if you have an inline string literal in the, you feed into, say, Raylib draw text. But quite often I have some other metadata, or maybe I have a procedure that takes a string that draws, like maybe I draw some drop down button and I want to reason about the string before drawing it. Then I still want to use an Odin string into that proc, and then I just always use temp alloc just before calling Raylib, and it's fine in the editor, I think. em.selected tile equals at.core. Oh, well, you can write C here. So just save that one away. So what happened there was this grew in size, which made the main memory of the whole thing grow. So it noticed that, and then it just resets the game to avoid crashes. Okay. So what we can do here is we can say if em.selected tile equals C. Then we do something similar here, but we do green instead. And maybe this one we put at layer 3, this one is layer 2. So now we can sort of select. These colors are not the best. I mean, let's make it yellow and magenta. Maybe I should draw the selected one after to give better feedback. Well, that's this. There's a sort key. The order here doesn't matter. So used to. Yeah, there you go. So now we can select it. So now we arrive at the part where we need to hover something out here in order to draw these somehow. And there's if you look closely, there's some funny lines in between them here, and I think that's just due to I need to pad when I generate this, I need to go and sort of copy. I need to copy this here. I did this in Cat and Onion, so I need to copy each line out once. So I need to make every tile 2 times 2 bigger. So when if it bleeds outside, it just catches the same color, and then everything will just merge together perfectly. And this is due to my game not using a pixel perfect. I mean, I can scale it and stuff and pan around, and so at some zoom levels it will look okay. So at some zoom levels these lines might disappear. It's just a sub-pixel artifact essentially. But the solution is to have a clearance around each one, So essentially for this one, what it should have look like is it should look like this. This one should look like this. Whoop, what happened? So this is my generator needs to do this for me. I just haven't put it in yet because I realized it like this is how each tile in the atlas should look, but it actually, the direct it draws is this. And then whenever it accidentally, because of subpixel shenanigans, it bleeds a tiny bit outside, it just catches the correct color anyways. And everything will just look perfect. I have never had any problems with the corner, but if you have problems with the corner, then sometimes maybe you have two different colors here, like that and that. Then I'm not sure, maybe you can blend them here in the corner, but I have never seen like jittering pixels due to it bleeding out into the corner somehow. But yeah, that's just an example. I'm not that texture generated, so the generator needs to do that, and it's not hard. It's just whenever I draw one of these, I just take this the side of each and draw. I make it 2 times 2 bigger and just draw outside. We will fix that. Maybe if I have time, maybe I fix it today. I'm just gonna code until 5 or something. So 1 hour, 15 minutes more. Okay. So we need a grid to draw into. This grid, I don't have any sort of proper world yet based on tiles. So let's just pretend we have one right now. Let's just make a grid. And this grid currently can just be a whole bunch of like 2 eyes, essentially. It's just the coordinates into the... Wait. Yeah, since it's into the atlas, it's fine, because those are just coordinates of where to draw from. It's not coordinates to where to look up in a 2-dimensional array or something silly like that. It's just to construct coordinates into the atlas. So let's just do that. And how big? Let's see if we can fill the screen maybe. What's 320 or by 1620? Wait. This is a bit weird. To have like a grid. How did I do this in the kitten cat game? I don't remember even. I'm gonna look. Let's go over to this file here and look for world. Okay, we have tiles. There's a dynamic list of tiles, but inside the editor, add tiles. Right. Just looking what it did. Maybe I can just get away with something silly for now. This game is gonna have bigger maps probably, so I need to do something. I probably need to do some partitionals, some cool partitioning of them, so I can quickly find stuff. I was trying to use cool words there, but it didn't work. Yeah, currently it just in Cat and Onion it just scanned linearly for the tiles through a list. Let's do that for now too. My favorite word. Let's do that for now. Forever. Where am I? Here. Editor. Let's make this a dynamic list of vector 2 eyes. And so if mouse in rect, and then we look at the side, this area here. This is a bit weird because the world, I talk about world rect because I have a camera. it's not really a world rect, it's more of a transformed rect with this camera, because I might want to zoom around this editor later, or like pan around, and then that sort of becomes like a world space position. But you know, it's just different contexts for what to look at, like no different transformations for the geometry based on different cameras. So I just use the camera here to scale things up properly. But yeah, and I'm looking at this, and this is a bit big actually. I might want to scale this down to half the size for the tile picker, because it takes half the screen currently almost. But what we'll do here is screen rect contains what's remaining after the rect cut, which is this area. And then we can take and draw let's just draw at the top left first. So we draw at 0, 0. We draw the selected tile. So we draw a destination from EM. We make a new source rect. Wait, how does this work? Oh yeah, maybe I have a problem here. I didn't realize that until now. Yeah, so there is a problem here with how fast I can look this up, because I have this value, but I want this value, and this one is like indexed. Oh, this is just, I mean, I don't have the index to this one. I just have the member like this. So I would actually like to have an index into here. So, but we can just do that. Now we can just select the tile is an int instead. And we say if select tile is idx, and then we say the index here, so it's the index of all the atlas tiles. That might change if you do like hot reload and stuff, but it's usually good enough for editor state. So then we can just say t is atlas tiles em.selected tile, and we will, because the chord here is only interesting for drawing the editor layout. It's not interesting for using. It's not interesting for drawing. Like the only thing I need to know. Well, it's actually nicer to save this in the. This is nice to save in the sort of data, sort of. So I'm not 100. I could also like, because I want to save the coordinate I want to save in the data probably, because it won't move around, you know. 0 to 1 is always this one, even if this one grows wider than, you know, even on the second row, everything will still be correct. But I was thinking that maybe what I can generate here is something like this. Atlas tile, like this. Atlas tile is an enum of atlas 0, or like tile set 0, tile 0, 0, 0. I can just generate something like this. And then this I could keep around, because it sort of like encodes the whole coordinate but into an enum. And then I can, if I can just make, let's see here, maybe this can still move around if I get more, but I could like generate a lot extra in here, more than I possibly ever need, like bigger than whatever tiles that I possibly need, and then never move these around again. like not add in things in the middle, so the int value of the enum changes, and then I could use those as the index here, and then I can save that into data, and I can also use that to like just index this directly using the enum. And I maybe still keep the code here for quick. I could probably figure out the coordinates from this thing here, but yeah, we look at. I'll think a bit about that. So Bobbytronics is asking. No, yeah, this is auto-generated. He's asking if Atlas tiles is. So this whole file atlas.odin is auto-generated. Is generated. So it takes these files, these A-sprite files. Yeah. And for the textures that don't start with tileset, it puts them in here, and it says where in the atlas did they end up, and the atlas looks like this. So for example, this tree here is here, and it says, okay, the tree, it comes from this A-sprite file like this, and it says where in the atlas did I put it, the rectangle, plus some extra stuff it might need. And then it also generates a name up here, so I can from code directly use that. And this code is generated before my game compiles, so I can use this compile time as compile time constants, the texture names and stuff. And then I do the same for a font. While I'm building the atlas, I go through a TTF, and I use Raylib's load font data, and I put the letters in here like this. And then I know where each letter is, and I can construct a Raylib font from this info when I boot up the game, like this. Here I say use the atlas as texture, and the rectangles are these, and then I make a little array here for it with the rectangles. So I'm gonna get a Raylib font. I kind of hand build a Raylib font this way instead of using load font procs in Raylib. And then for the tileset, what I do is if it's trying to load a texture, because the tileset it also has texture that lives in here. The tileset looks like this. But if it loads a texture that starts with the name tileset, then it does some extra stuff where it takes each tile. The code takes each tile in the tileset and says that it wants to pack those into the atlas as well, and then STB rectpack figures out where to put them as a nice little library. STB rectpack, and it figures where in this to put them, and then after that I just write them at that position from the tileset into here. But I also make sure to keep the coordinate around it for metadata of where in the original tileset did they come from. So see, this one here is from at coordinate 0, 0 because it's here. But so I record both where is it in the atlas and where did it come from in the tileset. And that way in the editor later I can reconstruct the tileset from the atlas. This is not rendered using this original tileset image here. It's generated from the atlas using the metadata of where they are in the atlas and where they were originally in the tileset, so it can look like this thing, but it's actually using this thing. So anyways, we for now I will use selected tile as sort of an index here, but I will think a bit about if I can do some cool stuff with a pre-generated enum thingy for having a stable way to remember which tile is which and stuff. Because then I can use that for what's it called? Serializing and stuff as well. Okay, and now we can just say t.rect to t.test. See here if I go into the editor. Oh yeah, it only draws when I have a mouse out there. That's not what I really intended to do. Do like that. So now it draws the currently selected one at position 0, 0. See, I can select this. It's all good. It's all good and fun. However, I want to draw it at the mouse position instead, which is sort of why I had this. And the mouse position needs to be let's see if we can get that into a nice grid somehow. I'm gonna see here, mouse pos. Well, I guess I just get the mouse pos. Get world mouse pos. Don't I have that? Okay. What else? So I tend to jump to the cat and onion code and steal some code from there. So this is the mouse position in the window. Let me think here, because this is all scaled up and zoomed. I was thinking, it's a bit of an unusual way I'm doing it right now, but we can probably hack around it a bit to see. Because we can do like this, mouse.x, mouse.y, but it's at the wrong position, you see. So it's down there because this is scaled up. So the closer we go to 0, the closer it gets to a pointer, and then it sort of goes around like this. Of course, we can just divide this by the zoom level and it will be fine. Or we can get this into world space, which might also be fine. Let's maybe try doing that. Get mouse in, get screen to world, mouse camera, pause, blah blah blah. Let me add this here. Mouse position world is a proc that returns a vector 2, and it needs to take a camera. Yeah, to return some stuff. Hello, Parverma. I don't know who that is, but thanks, maybe. See, now it's at the cursor, because now I use the mouse position in world coordinates, which is all good. It lags after a tiny bit, but so now I can just divide this by 16 maybe. Mouse on grid is mouse divided by 16. Let's bring it into, this stuff is always a bit funny how to best do this, but let's do mouse.x, and then we floor it maybe, and then we times 16 again. It's upset about something. Oh, it's not used. Okay, of course. What's wrong with this? Math. Oh, I don't know what math is. Import core math. Amph. Sort of in a grid. See? Ooh. That's all good. It's in a grid. And once you have it in a grid, you can maybe place them. Let's try doing that. Let's see here. If rl dot is mouse button pressed, I don't know what my computer specs are. It's quite old, the computer, but it's not a fancy. It's not a fancy program. It's very simple. This is Odin programming language. So we append to em dot. Do I have a list of tileset? Oh, it's called grid. Let's call it tiles. The language of gods. Yeah, now there will be another problem where I don't. I will have the same problem again where I don't have. I'm just gonna put the selected tile in there for now, so we can draw something, so we can get some editor going. And then I start thinking about this problem with how to stably refer to these things. And now we can do for t in em.tiles. And we can go, the tile is atlas tiles t. Well, it's the tile index. And then we just draw the whole thing with t.rect. Wait, I don't even know. I was like, there's information missing here. I know which tile I'm drawing now, but not where it is. You know, a tile is two parts information. It's a tile, is a struct that has position, which is a integer vector, and then it has a tile, which I currently have an int, but we will look into that shortly to get it into something that's not as volatile as having an int. I used the word volatile. That felt weird. It's such a volatile word. And then the have a is there like a no vec2e from vec2 floor? I want to have somewhere to go quickly from a vec2 to so we want int math.floor p.x, int math.floor p.y. something like that. We need some math in here. Like that, and then I can go back here and I can say vec2 from vec2 floor, and I can say mouse grid. And then, so it is very sad about something. Sad about the missing curly brace. Sad about missing named parameter thingy. And now this for t in that, and now we say t dot. Wait, what is this? Atlas tile is Atlas tiles, which is called at t dot tile, and then we just use the rectangle there, and then for the destination here we can just do this again. We can say a t dot pos dot x, t dot pos dot y. Actually, we can even do something fun like this. Rect from pos size vec2 from vec2 I at dot t dot pos, and then we say 1616. This should work. Now, if I click, I can paint. 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 I mean, I need some way to hold down the key, and I need to be able to scroll around. But you just take it step by step and you will get there. It doesn't, you've done this a few times. It's not that hard, I think. But yeah, I need a way to hold down and make sure it doesn't put two tiles at the same spot. And this is interesting when it goes into the, yeah, oh, it reminds you of Super Mario ground tiles. Yeah, it's probably gonna become fancier someday. But this is first little iteration. And I also have these like this that I can use to, if I do a single mistake here, I can't erase anything because I haven't coded any erase stuff yet. And now there's no, this thing should probably take des.y. These are on the same yeah, this is classic little problem in these kind of games, because I just drew two tiles at the same spot. This tree here, and then there's the thing behind here. And I mean, this belongs to the whole tree thing, but it's supposed to be at this level here. So tiles probably have to have like a, I don't know what the best way to fix that is. If tiles should have like a offset, so that if they are one above their actual position, you can say, but it's +1 in sorting. So it still ends up in front of stuff. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do that stuff is. But we got that working. That's nice. What now? There's two things. I have 50 minutes left of my allotted time I gave myself for this. We need to fix this. But that's, to me, it's a bit of a boring problem because I need to figure out some way to generate something, some kind of stable identifier for every single tile. It will be like an enum here instead, I think. Let's try to get the camera controls in so we can use like WASD to move around, and then maybe get the eraser in and maybe check so we can't click on the same area twice and stuff. I mean, so we can't draw two tiles on top of each other. Well, you shouldn't need to be able to do that, but they shouldn't be able to be at the exact same sort key, and but all that sorting stuff I need to figure out. But let's start with the camera offset. And we're gonna lose all our work when I add this here because I have nowhere to save this. And this is gonna grow, and so it's gonna have to reset the game because it can't hot reload when structs grow. But that's fine, this was just me testing. Camera position. Let's see. The editor camera will have an offset at camera at em.camera position. Now everything is gonna go poof. Yep. So, and then we need to add here. I'm gonna have to use two different cameras here because I need one UI camera for the editor and one world camera. We'll figure that out. Now I need to sort of somewhere, maybe before I do all this, maybe it's here. If rl.isKey down w, then em.camerapos minus equals rl.get delta time, get frame time. How many pixels per second? I don't know. 100 pixels per second. Camera speed is 100, not 1,000. That's probably gonna be too fast. Then we have S. Oh, there's a Y missing here. Y missing there. A, D, X, X, and D is to the right, so a plus there. C. Oh, click here. See, it moves. It moves to the wrong direction because this is an offset. The correct way, you know, if you're a bit naive here, you'll be like, oh, it moves the wrong direction. I'm just gonna fix this. No, these are correct. The camera position going to the left when you hold A is correct. That makes sense. The problem is that this is an offset, so you need minus here because it's offset of. Wait, no. I'm talking bull. Now it's correct. I used the wrong one. I was trying to say smart things, but it was actually all incorrect. You see, moves around. Whee! There's some problems here. It draws on top of this. We can use a scissor rect to fix that. And what more is a problem? This thing doesn't move, which kind of surprised me a bit. Thunder thought my template had the controls reversed. Yeah, it's you would think you're the big red thing because it's bigger. I should probably update it with something more. It's very unclear because there's another way to fix it is by adding two things. So then you're like, oh, I'm probably the one thing that stays. The other two things are fixed. But it's funny, like once you know which one you are, it doesn't look like it's moving the wrong direction. But if you're unsure of, yeah, it's a very hi Sirian Paul. Yeah, I'm making a new I'm trying to make a top-down game. So that's all good. We can put out these. Why didn't this one move? How does this work? I'm confused. This sidebar here is drawn here. Editor camera. Wait, maybe this never compiled. em.camera path. No, it compiled, guaranteed. I mean, oh, it was just me putting W's in there. How does this stay on this? Oh, because it takes the camera rect like this. Yeah, this is gonna give me problems later, so I'm just gonna do this. Editor world camera is one, and editor UI camera is another. And the only reason I use a camera for this is because then I get the scaling nicely for free and stuff. Wait, this is not gonna work because I queue the drawables into the same thing. So it's not gonna know which ones are for the UI and which ones are for the I need to probably feed into here a world and a UI camera, and then I need to be able to specify when I draw stuff if it should go into the UI or not. Or I need to wait, is that even a good idea? Yeah, it probably needs to say here that it expects it to go into the UI somehow. So I need to rethink that a bit, but that's fine. I can do that later. Let's get this. Let's get some other fun stuff in here instead. Let's get the scissor fixed here, so we don't end up inside this. I think I'm gonna have the same problem there again, because I'm deferring all. I think in Cat and Onion I drew things more directly inside. I had my editor code and I used rl.draw rectangle, and then I just scissored out parts and it just drew and was happy. Now it's deferring everything like this with these commands, and it's gonna be a bit of a I need to do some smart stuff to fix that. I need to be like, which camera does it expect to be using? And then it's gonna need to be like, which does it need a scissor rect? And then it sort of needs to sort everything correctly. Okay, that's also boring, so I will do that in a bit, but instead I will do the proper painting here. So what we'll do here is let's add a little rectangle lines to the currently hovered rectangle. We put it like this maybe. Now we get the hover rectangle here. Very nice. It can be yellow. That's fine. And let's make it possible to both paint by holding the mouse and then right click to remove and stuff, which is stuff that I like. Let's begin with the remove. If rl.is mouse button pressed dot right. Then what it needs to do, it needs to find all tiles I just do a linear search for now. Don't have any smart stuff going on. If t.tile equals em, no, that's not what you want. If t.pos equals mouse grid, then let's just remove one for now. Then we unordered remove. Unordered remove switches the order of things. It might sound like it does not change the order of things, but what it means is that the array, it does not expect to be, you don't expect it to be in order. So it allows itself to move the last one into the slot, so it can just do it without copying lots of data around. Mm-hmm. La mouse grid should perhaps be like this. We can also do here, we can say rect from pos and size, then we can say mouse grid f that I just made 1616 like that, and this should now compile, and I can't, no, this just needs to have mouse grid here now instead. Mouse grid. Now I can right click to remove. Which is nice. Remove all these ugly things here. Now I want to make it so that I can click and drag. Let's see if the current lit hover tile is occupied. It's a bool, and then we like I said, this is very unoptimized just now because it's constantly searching through the tiles a lot, but we'll fix that in time. If t equals, so this is, I look through all the tiles and I check if the tile is if the position of the tile is the mouse grid, then occupied is true. And I can break out of that. So now if I do this, if not occupied, and I press the left mouse button, I can do that, but if I do it again, it only puts out one, because if I right click once, I can press as many times as I want, but it will only ever place one at that position. And now I can change this. Since I have a check now, if it's occupied, I can instead check it to if mouse down, and now I can paint like that, and it's not gonna add duplicates. we can do the same thing here. We can reverse the check. If occupied and rl.mouse button down dot right. Well, we can even do something like, I don't know why I'm I don't know why I'm trying to optimize this when it's not very good anyways, but t.tile occupied by. If it's occupied and right mouse button is down, then we just remove that one instead. So I mean, I can remove one loop here. That's what I meant. Because now I can hold, now I can crash when I press right mouse button. Why? Dum 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 dum. Wait, does my order matter? Yes, because I'm using the indices. So this will be very slow now, but we'll fix that. Okay, still crashes. Wait, this is the tile in the Atlas tiles. Ah. Oops. There's your problem. Yeah, and it is unordered because it doesn't matter which order they are in, because the important number is this one, which tile is it in the Atlas. The order in here doesn't matter inside the tiles array. Got confused there, and now I can hold right mouse button to, and I can paint, and I can hold right mouse button to hold the right mouse button to remove. Whee! So now you can work at like super speed. Could be like this, and you can pan around like that, and you can do it like this, and take this one, drag that one over there, and it's not gonna let you paint over two in the same spot, which we eventually want, but you know. And I can't flip right now. Here I need a flip. Can't do it. And eventually we will need, I want also multi-select here. But I'm not going to add a multi-select until I figured out exactly how to keep track of my tiles. Because then I'm too far into the thingy. Let's maybe try to do a super rudimentary sort of, so we can run around in this world with the play character. So what we do then is when we editing equals blah blah blah. So you see, I put in some hacks sometimes to just get going, and then I just do it a bit by bit. But I like doing the things where I get some kind of visual result quickly, and then I can work out the details, because it's more fun when there's a visual result. Like if I'm able to paint properly, and then maybe I can go back into the world and maybe run around a bit, as long as I don't take that stuff too far so it becomes hard to fix technical issues, then it's, I think, just slightly more fun to work with. So if we're I'm just gonna do this. If we're already editing, then it will be at false. In this case, we get true. And in this case here, then we will steal this array. That's what I'm gonna do right now. And this is all temporary. I'm not gonna copy this to a separate file right now because I just want to have, we do this gmem.tiles, we delete it, and then we say gmem.tiles equals slice.clone, and then we say gmem.em.tiles, take the whole dynamic array, just clone it, and then we go down here. Where's shutdown? It's here. Thunder asks if I have any favorite game design resources. Not really. I don't think you. I think you learn game design by just doing, and I think a trap often is to think that you need to come up with a grand game idea before you start, or try figure out stuff before you start. But nobody really, like, for many games you have like a vague idea of what it's supposed to be about. Or maybe like Cat and Onion started with just me doing, I wanted just to try to make platforming mechanics that felt fun. So I did a little cat that could run around and climb up ledges. That was all I did in the beginning. I didn't have any plan at all. And then I had some other idea, like of a silly story, but that was totally separate. And I kind of merged things slowly over time. And then I started figuring out, okay, what can go nicely with this stuff. So I don't think, I think the best game design resource is to just start doing something and focus on a small thing, and then see what you can add to it to make it more interesting or something. But don't just try to add mechanics. Just try to also play with a mechanic and try to explore a mechanic that you like. Just try to explore something deeply. And sometimes it's not about making the most, killer puzzle mechanic or something. Sometimes it's more about realizing that, oh, but I want to make sort of this story-based game. Then you don't need to have like, super strong arcade game mechanics. Then you can get away with something simpler maybe, and just focus on having mechanics in the game that mesh well with your story and stuff. But it's so individual how you approach that. So I don't actually think there are many good resources. The best resource I know is Derek Yu's blog, because what he talks about there is the process of actually finishing games. So I linked that in the chat. And the hardest thing about making a game is to actually ship it and finish it, because you will get a bit of the way and then you will stop making it because of different reasons. And what Derek Yu does in this blog is to find a different sort of personalities of why you would stop. And like, some people maybe go too deep into technical things and get stuck, and some people always want to start over on a new project. And so Derek Yu goes through the different sort of personas there in that one. So I think that's one of the best ones. And it's not really about game design, but it's more about actually finishing your game. But I think the problem is often that people think that they need to have a killer game mechanic thought out before they almost do anything. Or maybe they get a bit of the way and then they feel like, oh, my game is not good enough. But actually that's just sometimes that's just you trying to find a way to get started on another project, because it's quite hard to push through sometimes. Tiles is a slice of tile. Here we go, it compiled. So now if I paint these like this, then nothing happens here. But if I draw here, I go back to the editor and I say like this, I steal this code from the editor and I just tell it to well, that happened to work, but it's doing the wrong thing. See, there's my tiles. And now I can go into the editor and I can paint these out, put that there, put this here, put in some water, very nice. And I can go here and it's all still there. Of course there's no collision yet, but still, you know. An important thing here that I have a whole video on making level editors. An important thing here is to the only ones the important thing here is that you don't use the same state in memory for the editor as the world. As the game, keep a separate, like make a struct that represent a world, and then in the editor you load the world from disk, because eventually you will serialize it to disk. So serialize the editor state to disk when you save, and serialize it to memory, and then have the game load that memory when you exit the editor or something like that, because you don't want the editor when you jump into it to modify the live game memory, because then you will have had your game state change. Like as you play the game, the state will change, and you will in the editor start with a state that's not the original one that was in the editor, and then you will save that, and then you will destroy your data because you have like moved the player starting position from here to here, because you started here and you walked here and then you went into the editor and moved stuff around and you saved. So it's important that you have like a original state that's intended for being saved in a file on the disk, and that's the only one the editor should ever look at. You should never look at what the game was in at the moment when you enter the editor, because that's a trap you can get into when you put the editor in the same exe as the game. But you should treat them as much as you can as separate things. Why is my cat the wrong color is a good question. There's many things here that's wrong. I don't think. Let's go in here. Thunder says, I keep getting distracted with technical stuff. The only games I manage to finish are 1 to 2 week projects. Yeah, I think that's one of the... Here's Derek Yu's blog post. Yeah. And he goes through different archetypes of why you don't end up... well, he finds different archetypes and why they won't finish games. And one of them is the inventor, and the inventor loves building nice looking prototypes. Yeah, maybe it's this one, or it's the... Yeah, this is the burrower, loves burrowing into deep challenging technical problems and stuff. And then there's always a path to finishing for all this. So yeah, this blog post is good at making one feel a bit called out, because he identifies quite many of these like behavior patterns that people have that make them not finish stuff. And it's fine to not finish stuff, but if you really want to finish something, then it's good to identify why you don't. Source assets, player walk. This one is the wrong color. The player character is supposed to be this color with... What's this in the concept? Yeah, it's supposed to be like this. I mean, this is my super rough first sketch. And then I can... Right now I have to recompile for it to regenerate the atlas. There we go. Is the tree the correct? Is it indexed? Yeah. So all this is correct. Let's remove these two. They don't do anything good. Hello. Move that stuff. Now this will just poof. Yeah, we need to add some collision at some point, but to do that I must define sort of which tiles are collidable and not, and why, and I need to think about that a bit. And then I need to do some serialization and stuff, but I think just working, if I work on this for a day, like now I worked on it for less than 2 hours. If I worked at this for a whole day, then I'll have something where I can actually do everything I need for doing basic stuff. I want to get collision in, and I want to get better, more serialization friendly tile identifiers. And then I need to do some kind of serialization of that. But that's all gonna be fine, I think. It's all gonna be fine. I have a serializer from Cat and Onion that I'm pretty happy with, that I can use. Oh well, I am done for today, I think, because this feels like a nice place to stop. It's almost 5 o'clock here. It's 1:45. So I mean, maybe we'll stop with drawing a final nice little hill here or whatever it is. But I don't have, I can't flip tiles currently, but that's just a bool, you know, and then I flip it when I draw it. So there's some technical issues here with the, I need to figure out the rendering stuff also with the both the scissor test and making the UI, being able to use a separate UI camera. But it's all under control, I think. Also, it's nice if I have a, maybe I can do one final thing actually. I was thinking of doing the scroll wheel so I can zoom in and out, but I'm done. When I say I'm done, I should be done, not start doing things again. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Have a nice time. Go make your level editor or cup of coffee, or maybe boil some pasta. Whatever you're doing great. See ya.